Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the
Afternoon.
opportunity to present our idea to you today. We are Team Smelly Socks, and for the past weeks, we have focused on the question of how to promote social inclusion in the workplace via fun and engaging products. And next slide, please. Thank you. Our team consists of professionals from a variety of backgrounds, including business ethnography, life sciences, and anthropology. And together we researched social inclusion from a metaphorical lens and adapted our insights into an engaging work method. The name Smelly Socks originated from a concept that really lies at the basis of our daily interaction, namely our feet. Now, by taking this mundane object, we strive to discuss the value-laden topic of social inclusion in the workplace, and our following product slides will discuss our insights in more detail and bring you to the preliminary concept, which is ready for field testing. Now, before we discuss our final product, we would like to start by explaining the concept that was the driver behind our field research and field tests. Now, initially, we discussed if clothing was a good indicator of social inclusion in the workplace, but as it turns out, socks are apparently an actively used method to convey information about yourself. Several respondents showed us how they already use socks to communicate personal values in both the private sphere and in their professional field. Now we see that some people used it to simply bother their parents, but for others it indicated a very important aspect of their past. And during their life, this core meaning apparently evolved and quite literally resurfaced at their feet. So not only were we able to gather valuable insights for this project, but we also uncovered a venue for further research into identity signaling. Next slide, please. In addition to the signaling of social cues, socks also seem to be at the nexus of social cultural tensions. And one of our respondents was initially very dismissive of people who would use socks to draw attention to themselves. But digging just a little bit deeper made apparent that it is also quite possible to shift this towards a positive modality. And this tells us that when focusing on socks as a representation of parts of yourself, it is possible to draw hidden biases onto the bigger stage and discuss these in a workplace setting. Next slide, please. Now, these insights led us to arrive at both HR business managers and employees as our target audience. And that is because these serve as the backbone of professional organizations. For HR, it is extremely important to focus on the well-being of individual employees. And for employees, it is vital to safely express parts of their identity to their coworkers. With these two stakeholder groups, we devised a method to target the tensions surrounding social inclusion at the workplace and devise a strategy for reconciliation. And we are currently refining the rulebook for our game-based approach. And our initial set of rules will be explained by my colleague Alexa. So I will hand over the digital mic and come back to you for the final part of our presentation.
Thank you, Sandra, for the floor. So I will present you our game that is Put Yourself in Someone Else's Socks. This is a game that addresses companies, especially the human resources and the CEOs of companies or organizations. And it is based on the idea that workplace, just like in the game, can lead to better outcomes if it embraces difference. So this is an awareness, this is a game about awareness of inclusion and diversity. And I will present briefly how it works. So it is made by cards. We have socks cards, and these cards represent individual and different socks. Each card has different characteristics, for example, with different colors, patterns, length, and symbolize different identities and different fashions. So each player receives a hand of this socks card, and other cards are put visible only on the table. And so at each player turn, they can choose one card on their hand, and they should start talking about this card using traits or positive characteristic about the design, and also the person to who could be associated this card, and should try to avoid any potential negative or harmful stereotype. So the other participant, after the argument of the turn participant, should start to discuss, and the participant, the player that chose the card, should convince the other participant about his argument, his or her argument. If it manages to convince them, he can choose another card from the table to match to the hand card, and then create a match of unpaired, unmatched socks. The winner is the one who convinced more the other participant, and then managed to have different pairs matched by different cards. So this is a game that has some outcomes. I will present them here. First, we put a quote about one of our interview, an HR officer, to demonstrate the effectiveness of this proposal. And we can say that the game is sought to promote diversity and inclusion in the work environment already since the recruitment process. That's why we involve the HR since the beginning. And it leads to promote understanding, empathy, and respect for the differences among employees. So by playing, the employees will learn to value the diverse perspective, experiences, expressions of identity, or creativity in the workplace. And it also promotes an open dialogue about these issues. So what the companies and the organization that decide to acquire and to start with this game will get improved relationships, reduce discrimination and complaints in the workplace, and a more inclusive corporate culture. So now I will pass again the floor to Sander to close our presentation.
Thank you, Alexa. Yes, it has been great to explore this topic together with you as a client, and we truly hope that the product we designed will offer not only insights into hidden team dynamics, but also prove to be a very entertaining method of discussing social inclusion at the workplace. Now, as Team Smelly Socks, I would like to thank you for this opportunity, and of course, feel free to contact us via any of our email addresses posted in this slides.